Well, I would say my relationship, if it was with anybody throughout Cash Money, the strongest relationship I had was definitely will be with Juvenile, and BG. But Juvenile, he was one of them guys that just, would always kind of bring me outside of just being in the office at Cash Money all the time and shit, and just, being a person that's from out of town there to work. But he brought me out to experience the streets in New Orleans. So I became a part of the Magnolia Projects with Juvenile, and everything that surrounded Juvenile was kind of like from the project as well. And he was like my closest partner. So once he had left from Cash Money, he reached out to me and was like, yo, bro, I know you've been around since a youngster. And bro, I've stepped away from Cash Money at this point, and I got my own thing going, which is UTP Records. And man, I wanna make you a part of the group. I can't promise you nothing, but I will promise you one thing, but you will be heard. And honestly, man, I never dug off into why Juvie had left Cash Money or got off into his business. Like I say, I just made the decision of saying, all right, cool, I'm gonna take this opportunity with Juvenile. And I did. I found myself right back in New Orleans. Now it's probably what, 2000 and yeah, right around 2000, 2001, 2000 and yeah, around 2001, 2000. And we were pushing UTP Records. That was the push for me. Juvie was spending so much of his own money trying to keep everybody afloat. You understand what I'm saying? And himself at that time, that things started getting real rough. I think he was trying to, he's fighting with Cash Money back and forth over whatever they were fighting over at the time. And you know, he gave not just myself, but he gave all of the artists this conversation one day. When I say all the artists, meaning me, Wacko, Skip, Corey C. He just told us, he was like, look, things is fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to kind of keep going with this. So I'm gonna just tell y'all, if y'all come across opportunity and it's real, then take advantage of it, even if it's not with me. And that was something that stood in the back of my head, but I knew how hard things were becoming for Julie. So just happened to be one day while we were together, uh, and I was a part of UTP where we were on our way to New York City to meet his lawyers. And God bless the dead, but CeeLo was the bus driver, which later became Birdman's right-hand man. And he just passed away not too long ago. But yeah, rest in peace to CeeLo. He was the bus driver for us. And he's actually from New York. So when we were on the way to New York to actually go see Juvenile's lawyer, which was up there in regards to him, fighting this situation, Juvie did a lot of traveling by bus. He didn't really do a lot of flight and flying and things like that. So we got to New York, and when we got to New York, we had a studio on our bus. And when we got to New York, CeeLo, the bus driver, was playing this music and was like getting Juvenile to listen to who was hot throughout New York City at the time. And it was 50. 50 had dropped this 50 Cent is the Future. I think that's what it was with him, Banks, and Yayo at the time. And this CD was just the shit to me too, because CeeLo was playing this shit on the bus. And I'm like, man, these niggas is really live like that. Like, the fuck? Well, Juvenile liked it, the music as well. And then CeeLo was like, well, look, my guy manages 50. I can get him over here on the bus when we get up there and get him to record, see what y'all come up with. And when we got to New York, that's exactly what he did. But CeeLo happened to be good friends with Sha Money. And when we got to New York, he stretched out to Sha Money. Sha Money ended up bringing 50 and Banks and Yayo. All of them came by the bus. And I just happened to be on the bus at the time. And, you know, Juvenile and 50 was in the back of the bus working on whatever record. And I was in the front of the bus with the rest of the guys uh, just playing records. You know, Banks was there. Yayo was there. I remember Yayo had a fucking pack of crack on him. It's like, yo, I'm still in the streets, D. You know, whoop type shit. But them niggas was serious at that time, I guess, based on the fact of what 50 was going through with the whole Supreme shit. You know, they was vested up and all of that good shit, you know, strapped up and all of that. But they were really no different than anybody else from the streets, you know what I'm saying? But they were really living that shit at that point in time. Uh, 50 as well. You know, I don't take nothing back, take nothing from him, but he was really living the shit that he was speaking on at that time. And I was just playing a record, bro, in the front of the bus. And Banks said, hold on, run that back. And he's like, yo, man, I gotta let 50 hear this shit. 50 gotta hear this. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, he calls 50 to the front of the bus and was like, man, hear this, check this out. You know what I mean? And 50 heard the record and he was like, yeah, that shit's crazy. That shit's crazy right there. But he showed no emotion to, let me say, signing me or nothing like that. He was just like, it was crazy, you know what I'm saying? And from there, that was the first time, quote unquote, I met 50 Cent in my life, was basically being on a tour bus with Juvenile and them recording me playing a record that they all were liking at the time. And I would never imagine how that one record that I played such a big part into my career and life with G Unit. Because from there, we drove cross country the next day from New York to LA. It took us a few days to get there, but we were actually on our way to LA to go get up with Suge Knight. And that's exactly what we went to do.